So first of all, the Selenium in the current software testing landscape. So Selenium was first released as an extension for recording and playback, and it eventually grew to become one of the most popular tools for test automation. Selenium was first developed back in 2004 by Jason Huggins, a programmer at ThoughtWorks. And later that year, the tool was open source, and since then, it has evolved significantly. And over the time, the name Selenium gained more popularity since anyone can use it for free. And also people can also contribute to it to help expand its feature set, which eventually lead to the creation of Selenium 2.0 or Selenium WebDriver. And besides from Selenium WebDriver, there are many other developers that joined the Selenium project, and that has helped scale it up to more extension for different purposes. So this is why today we have the suite of the Selenium tools, including three main components: the Selenium WebDriver, the core automation component, the Selenium IDE, a recording and playback extension for browsers, and the Selenium Grid, which will enable automation tests on multiple browsers and systems at the same time. And most of the time when testers speak of Selenium, they are mentioning the Selenium WebDriver. And Selenium ultimately is a widely adopted open source test automation platform with a very comprehensive integration capabilities and flexibility for building up test suites. And more importantly, it is supported by a very strong and robust community base. So there are many advantages with Selenium. And the most notable one is the simplicity and the robustness that it offers to users to automate tests. So secondly, Selenium has a loosely coupled and open architecture, which makes it a platform and also a language neutral testing tool. Furthermore, Selenium will give the users the freedom of choice for programming languages when testing. And this kind of architecture will also help increase test coverage on multiple platforms. And finally, Selenium also enable integration with extension and other test automation framework to enable agile DevOps or CI/CD workflow, depending on the tester's needs. However, there are still shortcomings that will accompany these set lists of advantages. So one of the most notable downside of Selenium is that it requires extensive expertise from the user. And due to the lack of many components for a comprehensive automation project, such as reporting, logging, teams, they have to they have to have a certain amount of expertise and a certain amount of experience to build, to customize, and to maintain a Selenium-based tool for their projects. So this means that for teams that just started with their automation journey, it is pretty difficult to efficiently leverage testing with Selenium as a main framework. And beside the having to overcome that steep learning curve, there's no official support from the Selenium team, which is also an obstacle for members that have little experiences. And finally, on a operational level, Selenium right now does not have a mechanism for separating scripts from data. And the result of this is the high maintenance costs and low reusability. And finally, there's a lack of capabilities for managing and organizing test assets, such as test scripts, test data, and test objects. So Catalan Studio will eventually add further values to your testing project with Selenium. And here is how Catalan Studio can do that. So after recognizing both the advantages and the shortcomings of Selenium, Catalan has created, so the reason why Catalan was created was to minimize the obstacle for successful testing and regardless of the level of expertise from the users. So as a ready-to-use framework, Catalan Studio users can confidently apply end-to-end testing on all web, mobile, API, and desktop application in one single project. And similarly to Selenium, Catalan also support testing on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And also, We also have built-in templates, test case libraries, and object repositories with no setup requirements so that we can simplify that learning curve for our users. And one very clear example is the Smart Wait feature, which automatically waits for all the front-end processes to load before continuing, and that also eliminates the wait issue in Selenium. Moving on, aside from being a very ready-to-use framework, Catalan Studio is a very easy to adapt tool and a very powerful tool to scale up the levels of your testing project. So essentially, being a code-led testing tool, Catalan Studio can get started easily with the test automation journey very quickly because we have a very low learning curve. So, and if teams have more scaling demand, they can leverage Catalan scripting mode to extend testing further and with more customization as well. And furthermore, testers are also supported with tools that help combine different testing platforms or even directly importing a project from Selenium. Like, for instance, they can we also offer some other integration as well, such as with SauceLab, Lambda Test, Copiton, and Browser Stacks. Furthermore, we also offer native integration with some of the most common CI/CD system, an option to streamline the product development cycle, and eventually that will get rid of the struggle of cloud operating by Selenium. And in terms of CI/CD integration, some of Catalan Studio most notable native integrations are Jenkins, Bamboo, Circle CI, Azure DevOps, and the list goes on. And right now, we have a product called Catalan Test Ops, which is a part of the greater Catalan ecosystem. And this tool is made to generate comprehensive reports and analytics for your test projects. And right now, even though it's still in the beta version, Catalan Test Ops will provide teams with the capabilities driven by AI technology so that they can gain more values and through automation than ever before. So now, to give you a better understanding about what I just discussed, here is the demo that's been prepared for us by Jackman so that you can have a deeper understanding of that process to migrate from Selenium test scripts to Catalan.